Wait, what's that sound? It's not silence, it's echoes. Echoes of something that refuses to fade away. Because just when everyone thought the noise might quiet down after BTS's break, Jin returned, and the world got louder. This time, it wasn't just about fame. It wasn't even about numbers. It was about proving something deeper. That art, when born from sincerity, never dies. October 2025, BTS's Jin has just been officially crowned K-pop's representative global artist. The title sounds grand, but it barely captures what he's achieved. In the Idol Chart Global Artist Representing K-pop poll, Jin didn't just win, he dominated, with over 14,800 votes taking 44% of all votes worldwide. That's almost half of the entire world choosing him. And right behind him were Jimin, V, Suga, and J-Hope, each incredible in their own right. But the message was clear. Jin's voice, his story, his soul, had reached somewhere deeper. After completing his military service in 2024, Jin came back not just as a singer, but as a man who understood silence. And from that silence, he created something eternal, his solo albums Happy and Echo. When Echo dropped, it didn't just enter charts, it erased boundaries. In its first 24 hours, the album sold 727,000 copies on Hanteo, breaking G-Dragon's long-standing record. In the United States, it became the best-selling Korean solo album ever, debuting at number 3 on Billboard 200 and hitting number 1 on iTunes in 63 countries. Each song felt personal. Each lyric felt like a whisper from someone who's lived through both light and shadow. And the critics couldn't stay silent either. Billboard called Happy a mirror of Jin's creative growth, a fearless exploration of new musical horizons. NME described Echo as proof that Jin's vocals have matured into a rare, powerful force. Rolling Stone wrote, "He sings with such calm confidence, it feels as if he never left the stage." Consequence of Sound said it best. Jin has completed his transformation into a true solo artist. He's achieved what he set out to do. These weren't just compliments. They were recognition, from the world's most respected critics, that Jin's artistry wasn't defined by BTS's fame. It was defined by him. Then came his first solo world tour, Run Seokjin. 18 shows, 9 cities, every single ticket gone in minutes. But it wasn't just a tour, it was a homecoming. Fans who had waited years finally saw him again, up close, radiant, and alive. And with each performance, Jin gave everything, his voice trembling with emotion, his laughter echoing through arenas, his tears glistening under the lights. That tour didn't just touch hearts, it broke records. $2.74 million in earnings per city, over 217,000 fans, $32.5 million total revenue, ranking number 9 on Billboard's global tour chart, the highest for any Asian solo artist. On Polestar's top 20 global concert tours, he stood at number 14, shoulder to shoulder with the biggest Western names in music. But for Jin, none of those numbers mattered as much as the people in front of him. The fans crying in the audience, the laughter between songs, the connection. Because Jin's greatest power isn't fame, it's empathy. And that empathy shines through in everything he does. That's why, week after week, month after month, he continues to dominate charts. On my one pick, Jin has been number 1 for 85 consecutive weeks and number 1 on the monthly chart for 18 months straight, a streak no one else in K-pop history has ever matched. Think about it. For almost 2 years, people have voted for him every single week, without stopping. That's not just popularity, that's devotion. Now, as October closes, Jin prepares for the final leg of his tour, the Run Seokjin Encore concerts at Incheon Moonhak Stadium. 2 nights, 1 city, infinite emotions. And maybe, just maybe, this encore isn't the end, but a beginning. Because when you think about it, Jin's story isn't about how far he's come, it's about how he never lost himself along the way. They call him the global artist representing K-pop. But for millions of hearts beating in sync around the world, he'll always just be our Jin.